Oh, what a dramatic start. What a dramatic start. Hello, good evening. Now, this is very exciting. Very exciting. I am going live in 5 different places. Like, I have no idea if this is going to work, but hello to the 5 of you that are here to cheer me on so far. If you are on YouTube, oh my gosh, there's going to be a 10-second delay. I'm just going to quickly check YouTube. I'm flying solo tonight. This is the first time that I have run a training course without any admin support. So we've got a thumbs up. That's good. This is good. Let's have a little look at the comments. See who we. Oh, there's 14 of you. I am not alone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My heart is beating fast this evening, I have to admit. Whew, flying by the seat of my pants tonight. This is the first night that I have done free training since becoming a single parent as well. So I'm like, kids, please be good, please be quiet. And we're going to roll with this. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Where are you watching from, people? Let me know. Where are you watching from? We've got someone. We've got Richard from YouTube. Hey, Richard. Valerie, good evening. So I can see where you're coming from. Are you watching from the Reconnect group? Or are you watching from Good Enough Women? Or are you watching from my page? Or you're not entirely sure, you're just watching? Like, I'm here for it all tonight. Like, I'm just grateful that I am broadcasting and it seems to be running smoothly. There's 19 of you watching. Oh, so thanks for inquiring, Valerie. I am good. Do you know what? I am on fire at the moment. There is so many beautiful, wonderful things in my life that I'm feeling like truly blessed, very, very grateful as I go through a really big adjustment period as I'm moving into a whole new phase of my life. And I'm sure I'll tell you a little bit about that this evening. Facebook people, hey, hello. If you have not given StreamYard permission to show your name, have a little look because I'm getting some Facebook users up so I can't see your names. Hey, Gwen, good evening. Hey, Claire. Hey, Valerie. If you're coming up as Facebook user, there's a little link. I think it's above. You just give StreamYard permission so I can see your little picture. Feels way more cozy, way more intimate when I know who I'm chatting with. And then we should get started this evening. Oh, Sharon's in the house. Good evening, Sharon. So, my loves, we are all gathered here this evening. Yes, we are. For a inspirational, empowering evening where I get to share some of the secrets, some of my stories, some of the ideas and concepts that I'd love for you to wrap your heads around. I'd love for you to really approach this training this evening with a very open mind, as I want to maybe share a different perspective about personal development, about how you can achieve more clarity, calm, and confidence in your life, and do it from a space and a place where you're going to get lasting, impactful change, because it's very easy to make quick decisions, quick change in our lives, but it's that lasting impact. I don't know about you, but it's that time of year, isn't it? Whole New Year's resolutions where going to eat healthy, maybe do dry January, maybe stop running, and you have all these best intentions, and guess what? Week 2 all starts to fizzle out because we're trying to drive the change from the wrong place. So we're going to really look at how we can change the way we think, the way we feel, the way we behave. When we change those 3 things, because that's all we have control of, right? When we change those 3 things, then guess what? Our outer world changes. So we change the inner world, so our outer environment has that ripple impact, that influence. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Oh, you've missed my energy, Sharon. I have missed your energy. Like, it's been a crazy Christmas. I've had a COVID Christmas. I've had all kinds of like weird and wonderful things happening in my life. Bank fraud and identity theft. Like, it's just been a lot, right? I've done a lot of energy work whilst I was lying on my COVID bed, and really like being very clear about what I was calling in for 2022, because 2021 was a test, right? Hands up if 2021 tested you to your limits. Like, I could not have received more lessons. So like, I have learned and I've grown so much, and I'm so ready to share that. So welcome. I see many familiar names, which is absolutely beautiful. If you are new to my world, let me do a quick bit of introductions. I shall do that as I am going to have to flip between 2 screens, so there might be some delay on me coming to your comments. this evening because I forgot I needed a second screen. I'm a little rusty with going live. But I just want to reassure you, first of all, what you're here for. I've condensed a 7-day training into a 3-day training. It's like going to be a bit like speed dating over the next 3 nights. We're gathering here every night at 8 p.m. And I've got a really clear intention that I want to take you, if you are a serial self-doubter, I want to take you through a process of becoming a positive action taker so you have more purpose and inner peace in your life. And what that then does is really show you clarity, calmness, and confidence. These are the 3 key things that I've summarized that my clients bring to me, the problems that they desire more of in their life. They want clear, they want to know where they're heading. Like they don't want all this overthinking, this cloudiness. They want calmness. They want to calm down that inner panic, that anxiety, that low level anxiety that sometimes is present, all the over worrying, overthinking. But people want to make more confident decisions about the way that they get to choose to consciously show up in their life. And they want to do that from a place of confidence, not from a place of limits, not from a place of worry, not from a place of anxiety. And so this is what I'm here for, to give you 3 nights of super powered information, insights and tools that you can take away, so that we're going to look at calmness tonight, we're going to look at confidence tomorrow night, and we're looking at clarity. We're gathering here at 8 p.m. every night. Replays are available. Do tell your friends. Let's get a little bit of a global movement going on, because that's my true mission, to really reactivate the enoughness in every human across the globe. Can't do it alone. I'm building an army. So give me a little wink if you're in. Let's have a quick check on the comments. So tell me if that sounds good, if that is what you're here for. So Facebook users, I've still got some Facebook users. I don't know who you are. Share some more. Tested and still being tested, whoever that is. I can't see your name. So please give StreamYard permission so I know who we're chatting with here, and then we can build up a bit more of an intimate relationship. Okay, my loves. So yeah, let me know if 2021 was a testing year for you. I think we all have experienced, in the last, oh my God, it's 2 years now, isn't it? 2 years, just, the most unusual times that we'll probably ever see in our adult lives or our whole entire lives. And we've tolerated it well. So let's just take a little moment to have a congratulations for everything that we've been through and for navigating it as well as possible with all of the resources we had available at the time. So those of you that are new to my world, welcome. My name is Naomi Newland. Primarily, I am a mother of three very gorgeous, I want to say middle-aged children. That sounds odd, doesn't it? But they are approaching teens. Well, I have 1 teenager and 2 preteens now, who light up my world and who make me so motivated to do all this work, because I want to leave them a legacy behind of what their mother achieved in life. So they have been my big why. When people talk about their why, they are my big why. You can see that little photo of us there in Greece. One of the highlights of my life in 2019 was taking him out of school for 4 months and Greek island hopping, like homeschooling, running my business nomadically, like it was just heaven. So I do it all for them. It's been a real change for our family recently. The tail end of last year, my husband and I, after 22 years, decided to consciously uncouple. So my kids have been through a lot of change. I've been through a lot of change. It's all very positive. We've all dealt with it with real maturity. I feel, just bigging myself up here, but being able to use all the tools and the skills that I've been harvesting and developing for my own life and for my clients' lives since I retrained in 2018. 2018, I went back to Sussex University and trained to be a hypnotherapist and solution-focused psychotherapist for a year. And off the back of that, created a phenomenal, really bigging myself up here, experience, which is called Rest Fest Women's Wellness Festival. We had 4 glorious festivals before the pandemic hit, and then clearly not a great time to be in the events world, which caused me to do the pivot of my life. And I'm so grateful for all the challenges that came with that story, with that experience, because it gave me the kick up the arse to know that I was good enough to create the more than enough experience. And many of the lovely names and people that are watching this evening are my more than enough biggest advocates and fans. And so I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I've been teaching that method now since May 2020. So coming up for, 18 months, just over 18 months. And now I have the beautiful privilege of now training 9 gorgeous, more than enough facilitators and coaches to be able to take this work out into the world. And oh my gosh, they're absolutely smashing it. We had a wild time at RestFest. That's me on the stage there at the moment that I decided that in order to really embody my message of enoughness and to really embody my more than enoughness, that I couldn't tolerate being unhappy in a relationship anymore, which was kind of the pivot moment that the conscious uncoupling occurred. And the reason that I mention that is that it's a really relevant part of my 2021 and my 2022 as I navigate new waters. But what I have learned from that experience is like absolute gold. And I'm now bringing a lot of the threads that I'm noticing in my clients, in my communities, and having the relationship problems or some relationship problems or communication problems, not necessarily just romantics and marriage, but conflict and in workplace and with friendships and with family, but really how we can put ourselves in the best position to positively and gracefully tolerate other people's energy. So that is our big focus for the next round of More Than Enough, which begins in 2 weeks' time. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot over the next few days, because what I'm doing here this evening is giving you a bit of a taster of the way that I work. And on Wednesday, there'll be an invitation for those that have an appetite to dive deeper into the life-changing experience that is More Than Enough. So just to set the scene for you, I've got 3 days of game-changing free information. Then there'll be an invitation on Wednesday, to take you through what you want to do. Like if you want to come play deeper and have some real fun and really, really, really change your life at the level of your subconscious, that will be the invite on Wednesday night. So expect that. Oh, just there is an added bonus as well, something entirely new that I'm doing on Thursday night. I'm inviting some gentlemen into my world. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm all about the masculine energy at the moment. But Thursday night, I'm running a panel discussion, myself and 3 male coaches, on how we can, as couples or as family members or as friends, support each other's personal growth experiences. One of the biggest fears that I noted in my own world and then sort of reflected back to me in my clients' fears was that women, because I tend to work with women, although, that is changing, were really worried. They had this deep-rooted fear about if they did the work and they became more empowered and they become more seeing the world in a different way, that actually it would take their relationship, it would break their relationship and take their relationship apart from the partner that they know, love and trust, that they've built these solid years with. And my worry is that people are going to look at my separation with my husband and draw that conclusion. And there may have been a little piece of that at play, but actually there's so much more deeper reasons for our uncoupling that I'm not going to go into publicly. But I just want to really reassure people and give you the tools and techniques that I wish that I had maybe 5-10 years ago, that maybe could have prevented us growing apart so rapidly to a point where it was no longer repairable. I want to get in there quick. So our More Than Enough 5 features the relationships and communications. On Thursday night, I'm inviting 3 guys into our world to come and share their male experience, to come and share that masculine take on personal development and how they see relationships and why it can cause friction, why it can bring up fears and anxieties and worries on both parts, the person doing the work and the person observing the growth. So that's going to be really exciting. That's going to be around on Thursday night, so put that in your diaries too. Like bring along your partners. It is designed for partners to watch too, and to really give guys an appetite for doing the work, right? Like there's so much, I want to say, stereotypes and stigma for gentlemen kind of doing the work. There's many I see doing it, but there's many I can see would benefit from doing the kind of work that we all do in the More Than Enough method. And so I want to give them that opportunity to see what it's all about and to really start to break down some of the barriers. So we've got Josh, we've got Don, and we have Andrew coming along on Thursday night. So that's going to be a real treat. Spread the word on that one. Like the more the merrier. Totally the more the merrier. Oh, good. Oh, Angela, is that you there? One for you and David. I've still got you down as Facebook user. Great stuff. Hey, Mel. Good evening. So lovely to see you. So many gorgeous familiar faces. Right, we're going to get cracking because I am 15 minutes in and I haven't even got started. Typical. But so nice to greet you all. Let's actually just change this perspective so you can see the slides. Oh, no, hold on. This way round. That's how we want it. So we're going to dive in, loves. We're going to dive in. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how let me rewind a sec. I think it can be very easy to look at me here, like living my best life, having a business that brings me financial, emotional, and lifestyle freedom, to have like the 2022 of my dreams planned, and to think that I've got it all sussed and all sorted. And perhaps you might make a presumption that I've always been this way. And I really want to throw out the idea that this is all inherent in me, that my clarity, my calmness, and my confidence is part of me. It's certainly been a journey. If I look back to my life 5 years ago, I was in a totally different headspace, very unhappy, incredibly overwhelmed, probably suffering from anxiety, which was covered up with over drinking and not doing the work, the inner work, like really trying to numb myself by drinking a lot of white wine, quite frankly, any excuse to get absolutely plastered. And I was miserable and unhappy in my relationship in many areas of my life. And I knew that I wasn't living into my potential, and that made me very, very sad. And so I had this great insight that I was capable of doing something more, or there was probably something more for me, but I didn't have the self-belief. And there would be encouragement from people. I'd watch my peers growing their businesses. I was a hypnobirthing teacher at the time, and I really wanted to jump into the coaching and therapy world, but I just didn't feel good enough. Like, I had a library full of excuses why I couldn't jump into this industry, that it was already crowded, that there wasn't space for me, that I wasn't smart enough, that I would never be able to make it work, that I was too lazy, had too many distractions, I had too many kids, I was too young, I was too old, I wasn't cool enough, like all of the flipping excuses. Trust me, I talked myself out of it over and over again. And the thing about limits, right, is if you fight for them, you get to keep them. And I fought so hard to prove this to myself. There's a much longer story, but I eventually decided that if I wanted to change my life, I could be the only person that would be able to ever do that. And like, I needed to stop waiting for somebody, a knight in white shining armor, to come into my life and give me permission and give me all the guidance. I just had to start saying yes. And that unlocked everything that you see now. And throughout the last 3-4 years, I've grown a movement of over 1,000 women now. We're really getting to reactivate the enoughness. I believe that our enoughness is inherent in us, but society conditions it out through capitalism, through patriarchy, through conditioning, through just a whole bunch of bullshit. And it's time for change. It's time for the new paradigm. It's time for everyone to know that their self-worth is inherent, and it's something internal that we don't need to externalize, and we don't need to seek validation from external sources. And when we do that, like, the world's going to be an incredibly different place, because we won't be battling with ego. We'll be communicating from heart and soul, and connecting and understanding and appreciating differences, but not holding that against one another. Like, what I'm seeing in the world right now is just so much division, and it breaks my heart. Like, there's a real call here for us to start doing life differently, and to empower those around us, especially the children, the next generation, to look at life differently. I know it's really required of us with all of the turmoil that's going on in the world. So I hope that you find this inspiring this evening, to start looking at life through different lenses, right? So a quick check-in on the quick check-in. Oh dear, we've got some saucy comments coming in from YouTube. This is the first time I've used YouTube, so if we get some interesting comments from YouTube, my dog's trying to break in. Oh, forever grateful for more than enough. Just 1 second. Children, can you look after the dog, please? Real life happening here, live around me. Yeah, we're going to have to excuse the whatever comes up. I don't know. How can I block these comments? Oh yeah, look, block. There we go. We'll block the saucy comments from YouTube. How distracting. Okay. So, yeah, quite a compelling story. We've all got work to do. Like, if you've been called here, if you're watching this, if you're feeling a tingle, it's because you're in the right place at the right time. So, what an exciting start. Let's just take a little moment to ground ourselves and just call ourselves into the next 45 minutes, because I'm sure if your day's been anything like mine, you have been pulled in a million directions and your energy has been spent in a lot of other people and a lot of other tasks and a lot of other things that not necessarily about you. So the call right now, the invitation is just close those eyes. Just give yourself a little 5 minute mini pause, because when we take these micro moments, we create space. And actually, our world is all about space. The more space we can create, the more productive we can be, the calmer, more collected, the more confident we get to be. So let's just take literally a few moments to clear the busy head. And we start by focusing on our breathing to do that. Those of you that work regularly with me will know that we breathe in through our nose for a count of 4, and out through the mouth for a count of 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for the nose for a count of 4. 3, 4. Out the count of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 2, 3, 4. In for the nose. Out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'll just slowly and gradually begin to ease yourself into what we call the parasympathetic relaxation response. This is the rest and digest state. And with those eyes closed, we really give permission to the body to slow busy minds down and to really come inwards. And from that space, I'd love for you to really imagine now all the places you've been today. Maybe you've been on the school run or off to work or studying, out to see clients. Maybe you've been on Zoom all day. Maybe you've been out and about at the shops or running errands, popping to the bank. All these kind of crazy things that we jam pack our day full of. The clubs after school, or cooking of the dinners, the laundry, all the jobs, all the tasks, all of the things that have taken all of our very valuable energy. And just remembering, like, our energy is our biggest asset. Time and energy, our number one assets. Everything else, like money, it's all replaceable. Time and energy will never get back. And so just thinking about all of those transactions where you've spent your energy today, and calling, imagine that energy is like a golden thread. I'd love for you, for each phone call, for each email, for each conversation, for each part of you gave away today, to call that all back in now, like a golden thread, like calling in all your threads of energy. So we're calling ourselves back home to being fully present for the next half an hour together here this evening. This is a great exercise to do at the end of any day, just calling yourself fully back home. All those little bits, all those little fragments, all those parts of us we've so freely given away. They're valuable. So we call them back right now. That's beautiful. Like, takes minutes. Such a powerful, profound experience to really feel grounded, to feel secure, to feel focused. So you can open your eyes if you haven't already done so. And I just want to reassure you that you are in the right time, at the right space. In the right space at the right time, that way around. Right now, because we have come through this incredible 22 months, or whatever it might be, 23 months coming up for now, I should know. The date should be marked in my mind forever. 23 months, 22 months. That where we have had to really tolerate so much change that our subconscious minds did not have blueprints for. So our minds right now have been creating, have been thinking, have been working out so much new stuff, like how to live a COVID life, right? Live with COVID, that it's a really plastic time for the mind. So actually, it's an incredible time to undergo any personal development work because the brain's really used to making new patterns at the moment. So now's the time to really reap the rewards of the extra plasticity of your brain. We're going to talk a little bit about neuroplasticity probably tomorrow and Wednesday night. So I have a little prize. Like, I love a prize. I love to give you all a really good reason to stay tuned because I know what the subconscious mind does. The subconscious mind does not like change. And it's very, very clever at manipulating you and getting it to do what it wants. And that is to boycott your efforts for change by telling you you don't have time, or this is boring, what you're doing here, there's something much more interesting on telly, could be using this time way more wisely. And so that negative narrative begins and it will distract you. But I want to keep you here this evening. So my offer this evening is I'm going to draw tomorrow night for one lucky winner to get a one-to-one session with me. It's a 60-minute session. We can do some hypnosis, some EFT, and some matrix healing in that time. It's worth £200 because I make big change happen at the level of the subconscious in just 1 hour. If you wish to be included in that prize draw, if you're like, oh yeah, give me some change, Naomi, I'm ready for it, then drop your name now into the comments because I want to know who's live right this second. And then if you're still live at the end, I will get you to also drop your email address again, and then when those match up, I will pick a winner tomorrow night. So let us know who is in the house tonight, who is in the draw. Sharon and Catherine, yes, you are. Let's put a statement so I can go back and look. I'm here for the prize. I'm here for the prize tonight. Yes, I am. Brilliant. They're all here for it all. Let me know if you're here for the prize. Share so that I can compare at the end. Love you all. You're all absolutely amazing. Gemma, good evening, darling. Right, I'm carrying on with the show whilst you all let me know that you're here and you want to be in the prize draws. So before we get cracking with looking at calmness, how we can invite more calm into our overthinking minds, let's establish what overthinking and self-doubt is actually, how that's impacting our world right now. Because I want you to know, though, that you're in exactly the right place. If you have any of these symptoms, let's call them symptoms of overthinking, symptoms of self-doubt, symptoms that your head is basically getting in the way of you living the most purposeful, positive life that's possible for you. So we'll have a little vote. I want you to see out of 10, how many of these do you relate with? So number one sign that you overthink and self-doubt too much, like we all do it, but some of us do it a little more excessively than others. If you know what it is that you need to do in your life, like you're really aware, you have the best intentions, but you don't do it. So you know what you need to do, but you find that you don't do it. Like that, my friends, is called self-sabotage. Let me know if you are a self-sabotager in the comments. Let me know. So that's number one. And there's a reason that we do that, right? It's because of the misalignment between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I want you to know that you're not alone. We all do it, like myself included. Differences, particularly with myself, is I have awareness when I'm doing it and I can nip it in the bud much quicker because I've done a lot of work at recognizing the patterns that play out for me in my subconscious mind. So that's number one. Let me know if you relate to number one. Number two, my friends, is you get stuck watching everybody else do all the things that you desire in your own life. So it could be starting a coaching business. That was my story. Like I spent about 3 years watching everybody else do it, thinking I'd really like to do that. But look, they're so much better than me. They're so much more qualified than me. They're so much cooler than me. Who am I? Oh, who am I to start a coaching business? Well, turns out My inner critic was wrong, right? So if you get stuck watching everybody else do the kind of things that it is that you really want to do, you get stuck in that comparanoia, I call it. Some people call it comparonitis. I call it comparanoia because it's like paranoia. You don't do anything because you just don't you feel like they're doing it all and it's not for you. Who am I to? Like sometimes I call it the it's all right for her trap. Well, it must be all right for her. She must have a rich husband. Well, it must be all right for her because, you know, she's probably been to university and got like 5 degrees. So it must be all right for her because, like, she's got 100,000 Instagram followers. Like, we do this thing where we say it's not for us and we make up all these stories about everybody else's lives. And we're just looking at the social media generally, and you know, we can jump to all kinds of conclusions. So let me know if you relate to number 2. So number 1 and number 2. Oh, Laura. Hi, Laura. I can't see her. No. Are you? Don't think I can be seen. Okay. So if you want to be seen, let me just have a quick check on my Facebook. You need to probably be in. I think it's feeding the comments in from the Reconnect group. Let me see. So, oh, hold on. I've got loads of notifications. Let me just see. Oh, Claire Potter, let me let you into the space, into the house. Yeah, you need to probably join the Reconnect Clarity, Confidence and Calmness Facebook group. Someone can pick it up and drop the link into here. I'd love you forever. Oh, Angela, I can see that it's you now. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh my gosh, the sauciness is back, blocking the users from YouTube. I knew YouTube was maybe not a good idea. We're just going to get all of the spammers. That's okay. So it's all good. It's all good. So where are we at? We're at number 2. So let me know if you relate to knowing what you need to do, but you're not doing it. So that's self-sabotage, getting stuck watching everybody else, paranoia. Do you spend a lot of time in your head? Are you like a self-confessed overthinker? Do you try and work out all the logistics, the plan, what exactly it is that you need to do in order to move your life forwards, and you feel like you need a plan? I've got to think about this a little bit more. I'm going to overthink it with a little bit more overthinking. And just for magic, I'm going to add in a bit more thinking. Like, we do it all from our brains. We try and figure it all out in our heads. See a lot of that. We see a lot of that because that's what we've been taught at school, how to work out life. No one says, let's tune into our intuition. Let's feel about our emotional guide. No. Nobody does that. They're like, let's figure this out. Let's learn our way how to have a successful life. So it's conditioned into us. See it a lot. Number 4, let me know if you relate to number 4, is that we do the thing where we believe that, who am I to? So this fits a little bit into number 2, but who am I to? Success isn't for me. Like, a purpose-led life isn't for me. Positive thinking isn't for me. It's all for somebody else. Like, we outsource it to somebody else. Like, who am I to possibly be able to claim these kind of great things in my life? And so we really that lack of self-worth really shows up in the fact that we don't go after our desires and our dreams, and we stay stuck. We say play small. So if you have a tendency to play small and play familiar, like there's nothing wrong with this. This is what the subconscious mind is designed to do, is to play out familiar patterns, but we can get to change it with some subconscious magic, right? So yeah, being in your head is your default. Like, it's the human default. We're humans, and the humans love to think. We've been conditioned that we need to think our way through life. I have some other ideas on that coming up, but this is the human condition, the human paradigm that we live in right now. So number 5, let me know. Do tell me which ones of these you're relating to. Number 5 is you suffer from not good enough-itis. Like, I was the queen of not good enough-itis for so many years. Like, motherhood stole my identity, and I didn't have my corporate life anymore. I had like kind of simmering away on the surface, looked successful businesses, but I wasn't making any money. I was undercharging and overworking and burning out, and deeply inside unhappy because I didn't feel good enough to jump into the life that I really truly desired. Like, I wasn't, as I've said, I had that library of excuses: not smart enough, not qualified enough, not cool enough, not enough followers enough, not slim enough, not brainy, and I like all of the not enoughness is I like it was like a pandemic, my own pandemic that I lived through. And I do believe actually the not good enough itis is a global pandemic. I don't really want to get into capitalism and all the reasons why we're being bombarded by being told that we aren't good enough as exactly as we are. You know, media has a massive role to play in that because it just makes billions of pounds. But we won't get political this evening. We'll save that until tomorrow night, maybe. So number 6 is we have this sense we've got to figure it all out first. Before I take any action towards whatever it is that I need to do, I need to make sure that I've got it all figured out. So I need to know the exact route that I'm going on. Like if I'm going on a holiday, I want to know the exact pinpoints, the back check-in points, rather than allowing trust. Rather than like we've lost self-trust, right? At this point, we need to have it all planned out. And no one has everything all figured out. Like this is the whole point of life. Like we're meant to dive in. We're meant to figure it out as we go along. We're meant to feel into it because we could be like shutting off so many amazing opportunities because we're so narrow-minded about this journey we believe that we have to go on. So you feel like you need to really figure it all out first. So that's number 6. Number 7, we've been conditioned to believe that change is hard. Like we see how hard it is to change people around us. We know how difficult it is to change ourselves. Like we have all these great intentions to lose weight, to run marathons, to study harder, to learn a language, to save £10 million in the bank, to do all these things. But we sometimes can struggle. It depends what the thing is. Like if it's aligned, it can be like really quite easy to do. But a lot of the things become a struggle to make the change that we truly desire in our world. And again, it's because we are approaching it. It's totally possible. Like I am like official change maker in people's lives. It's totally possible. But it's because we approach it from the wrong point of view. And I'll explain that. We're trying to do it from willpower. We're trying to use dopamine, the power of dopamine. And that's just 4% of the way that our brain works. There's a whole untapped potentiality for us to dive deeper into to get that lasting, impactful change. So we have this mindset that change is hard. And when you know the secrets of the more than enough system, let me tell you, it becomes a whole lot easier. Yes, it does. Number 8 is we get so caught up in like being busy. Like all of my clients are really busy people, tend to be women, like tend to be either juggling the corporate life or juggling family life or sometimes both. And it's a lot. It's a real lot. And sometimes I think I'm so overwhelmed. And we don't ever stop to ask why we're overwhelmed. Is it because we're actually trying to do too flipping much? Modern life is so demanding of so much of our attention and time and box ticking and doing this and doing that and doing all of the things. It can be a lot. So busy people tend to shut down their ambitions, their desires, their potentiality, and we're just on this hamster wheel of just like let's keep on doing what we know what we're doing because we just don't have time to think about anything else. But actually, when we do take that time is when we get the breakthroughs, and when we create space in our worlds, it's when we're able to see much clearer. Again, I'm going to save some of that talk for around clarity. But if you're a really busy person, let me know if this is if you're relating to this. Brilliant. So number 9. I have a lot of these in our world, particularly you guys, you facilitators. You are all learning junkies. Like you want to know everything before you take any next steps in your life, because it feeds the overthinking. Like I'm going to do some research. You know how they say don't Google it. And we get in there and we Google the life out of it, and we get all of the stuff, all the research, and we just confuse ourselves even more because we have so much access to so much information nowadays that we forget how to make our own judgment calls on things. We forget how to trust what we really believe, and we're conditioned to believe what everybody else believes. We spend so much time outsourcing our power to Google, in like not just Dr. Google with medicalized things, but anything we need to make a decision about, or just have a Google of that, or just ask somebody else's opinion. And we disempower ourselves from our own inner sense of what's right for us, because we're all unique human beings, right? And we forget that we want to be like carbon cutouts and doing what everybody else is saying is the best thing for them. So We are learning junkies. We feed our habit of overthinking by over-informing ourselves and not using our intuition, because again, it's just so easy and we like shortcuts in life. So the course junkie problem is number 9, or the learning, the desire to know everything. We have more information now in one day than somebody that lived in the 1400s had in their whole lifetime. Like, the human brain isn't designed to just absorb it all. Modern life is accelerating at such speed, and our brain is not evolving at that same speed. So hence, I see a lot of emotional and mental health problems, I think, because of that over saturation of information and data. And then finally, number 10, the final thing that we overthink and self-doubt actually comes from perfectionism, where we set ourselves really high standards. And then when we fail to meet them, we beat ourselves up, full of procrastination. We don't take the actions then because we're so busy thinking about what it is that we need to do, because it needs to be perfect, but actually it becomes a double bind, that the perfectionism stops us even taking any action because we've just built up this whole bar, like really, really high, that becomes impossible for us to reach. So, gosh, that's the whistle stop tour of the 10 signs that you are overthinking and self-doubt. And one of the things that I've just got written down here I didn't mention is, like, when we try to create our new lives, that we try and create our desire from our current circumstances as well. This is something I see. So we try to create from our current resource base. We try and create from where we're at rather than where we want to be. And so we again attack it from the wrong angle. Like, something that I talk a lot with my clients about is reverse engineering. So we start with the end in mind and work backwards rather than trying to push up the mountain from where we're already at with our current resources and capabilities. So what have we got? Oh, Sharon's got a 2, a 5, a 7, an 8. So 4 out of 10. That's not too bad, Valerie. All 10 resonate, but you're working on them, whoever the Facebook user is. Oh yeah, we forget what we've been learning. So easy to be slipping back into old habits, and that's why a little boost here this evening will remind you of it all, Angela. So yeah, let me know which ones are resonating with you this evening, peeps. The dog's trying to get back in, so excuse that. Oh, so gorgeous ones. Let's crack on then. So when we are in this place of not feeling calm is our topic for tonight. So when we're not feeling calm, I'm approaching this from the brain because that's my geekery topic. So when we're not feeling calm, what we tend to be doing is thinking thoughts and feelings of busyness or of hecticness or of overwhelm or of overthinking, of thinking so much that we're ruminating over and over again about if, buts and maybes, lots of the things that we've just covered off in that whistle stop tour of the 10 signs. And what happens when we think and we feel is that we cause biochemical responses within our body. And that biochemistry within our body can trigger off the fear or flight response, which causes stress and anxiety and panic attacks. It depresses the immune system, so that when we have a constant state of worry, because the subconscious believes we're under threat, even though they were imaginary threats, the subconscious approaches it as if it's real and imaginary as the same. So it will be preparing yourself for invasion. So we're in the fight or flight response, and that fight or flight response is a really healthy response when we're truly under threat. But what's happening, especially over the last 2 years, with low level anxiety and worry about what's going on in the world, is that we're constantly triggering off this fear or flight response. And that's depleting all of our other abilities to be able to heal, to be able to thrive, to be able to grow, to be able to have that capacity to show up in life truly as ourselves, because a lot of our emotional needs aren't being met at the same time also. So our thoughts and our feelings, that overthinking piece, the self-doubt piece, the anxiety piece, really has a really powerful impact across not our general well-being, as well as fueling the overthinking, because the more that we think a thought, like thinking creates grooves in the brain, and the more we think a thought, the deeper that groove comes, and thoughts become like water. They take the path of least resistance. So I always use this metaphor. Those that work with me regularly will be familiar with this. But as we go, like, I want you to think about the first time we have a new thought. It's like we are going through a very overgrown jungle path for the first time. So the first time we have a thought, we have to really like fight our way through the overground. It's like really hard, and we have to shove, and we have to push, and we have to like real put effort in to have that thought, like really push it through. But the second time I have the thought, like, we've done a little bit of the work, so some of the undergrowth has been like broken, and so it's a little bit easier for us to squeeze down the jungle path. But the third or fourth time, it's like we've hacked away there with a machete, and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the 10th. It just becomes so easy that it becomes habitual and automatic, because we condition in, and that we can just flow through the path. It takes the path of least resistance. And so I'm sowing that seed now, because I want you to understand that that's how we make lasting, impactful change at the level of the subconscious. There's many professional tricks and techniques, but being mindful of our thoughts and noticing and building up self-awareness of what it is that we're thinking, and being able to flip the script on that. This is where More Than Enough comes in, being able to learn to flip the script of your negative narrative into a belief that serves you, that boldly helps you believe that anything is possible. That's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens. So our thoughts and feelings are the key indicators there that we get to play with, that we get to transmute, that we get to recode, that we get to change. And that's why so many people don't do it, because they just try and change their behaviors, and they don't change the thoughts and the feelings that trigger the behavior. So the thoughts and feelings come before the behaviors, whereas we just try and interfere at the level of the environment, or we try and interfere or interrupt, sorry is a better word, at the level of the environment or at the level of the behavior. We need to look at the thoughts and the feelings first. So be more mindful of your thoughts and feelings, like really develop that skill of self-awareness. Because when we try and interact at the level of the behavior, you'll see here, this is what I was getting at with all of those 10 signs that you're an overthinker, or 10 signs you're a serial self-doubter, and you want to make change in your life. Like, the mistake that I see everybody making is that they try and make the change at the level of their consciousness. So we might try some counseling, we might read personal development books, we might listen to podcasts, we might even do some journaling, and we try our hardest to follow through with our best intentions to make the change in our lives from our conscious mind. Because that's what we've been taught to do at school. That's what everybody is telling us to do. But when I studied the mind for psychotherapy, it's like mind-blowing that actually that 4% is really hugely generous. Some reports show that the conscious mind is only 0.06%, so 0.04%. And the conscious mind is our awareness. It is us right now, but there is so much more to the way that the brain works. And actually where real magic can take place is at the level of your subconscious, because your subconscious. So imagine like the iceberg analogy. It's a very famous psychotherapy demonstration, really, is that if you imagine the top of the iceberg, the visible piece that you can see, that's the conscious mind, that's the 4%. But as we know, the bulk of an iceberg is beneath the surface. It's buried invisibly to the eye, for the human eye to be able to see, but the bulk of an iceberg is like way deep beneath the surface. It's very difficult for us to access, because the subconscious mind holds all the patterns for us breathing, living, digesting, reproducing, all of those things. It doesn't want us getting in there and just willy-nilly changing all of its programming, because it keeps us alive. But it also is conditioned by our life experiences. It's conditioned by the things that teachers say to you at school, the offhand comments that parents say to you when they're having a bad day. It's conditioned by all of these experiences that, especially as adolescents, we make meaning from in order to make sense of the world. And those meanings aren't necessarily correct and right. They're very often like so incorrect, and we have no evidence to back them up. But we make our mind up about the world. We create our values, we create our belief systems based on other people's stuff, right? And so that subconscious mind, it's like a filing cabinet. It keeps a record of all of these experiences, whether they're real or imaginary, because it doesn't differentiate between the two. And it makes up this story, this narrative about our lives that simply is not the truth. It's not your truth. We've been bombarded by other people's stuff. And so our emotions, our values, our beliefs, our image, our fears, our imagination, our habits, all of those things are buried deep within. And that is how, when we start to change those patterns that run on autopilot beneath the surface, when we intervene there, that's when we get the lasting impactful change, is that we experience the more than enough method. Using many different types of modalities. We use hypnosis, we use emotional freedom technique, we use solution focused psychotherapy to really, really help all of the community to grow into knowing themselves. I think that's the biggest benefit that you'll notice. Let me just go back to comments. Gemma's in the house. Good evening, Gemma. Old habits really do die hard. Yeah, they do. One's causing a temporary glitch, Catherine. Isn't it amazing if you think how many of those you had, Catherine, back at the start of your More Than Enough journey? You know, we can pick all those 10 signs off one by one by one. We can begin to work on them. So all 10. So let me know what's resonating with you when we're talking about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind here. Let us know if this is making sense. If you're the kind of person who has been trying to make change through willpower from the conscious mind, like using dopamine, and then you get to a certain point, like maybe you've had some great successes and you break through, but the change that you seek is not lasting. I just really want you to know that it's not your fault. It's the way that society has conditioned us to believe that this is the right way to make change. But actually, there is another way. There is another way, which is really great fun too. So the other thing that I see clients doing a lot is forgetting, or maybe they just don't have the understanding or the awareness that we are so much more than our thoughts. We are so much more than the brain. Here we can see that the brain, and this is all really new emerging science, and I love the fact that science really now is backing up the story of intuition that many cultures have recognized for a long time. Many different ways, approaches in life have really known that we have these deeper senses, these communication systems from within that aren't necessarily our thoughts and our thinking. So our brain, and I don't want to take anything away from the brain, like it's really important, obviously, but we once upon a time thought the brain like controlled the whole body, like everything went top down. So the brain was the boss, like the body is a robot, is what I first learned on my hypnotherapy training, hypnobirthing training like 11 years ago, that the brain controls everything else. But what we know now is that, yes, of course, the thinking, the cognitive functioning, perception, language, that all comes from the brain. 80%, 80% of data comes upwards from the gut and the heart into the brain, and the brain is just 20% down. Like that just blows my mind. Like our guts and our hearts also have thousands, millions of neurons. They are communicating, not through language, but through biochemistry. And they are sending signals back and forth between these three communication centers. And I think where we get lost in modern living is that we give all the credit to the head. Well, I'm thinking and I'm having these thoughts, and that must be the truth. And actually, we forget that our heart's trying to communicate with us, that our gut's trying to communicate with us, and they have some innate intelligence within them that has been passed on for millennia that we are completely overlooking. And I love putting it into perspective this way, that actually our thoughts are only 1% of our human experience. And if we put it into perspective like that, that completely reframes the way that we get to show up in our lives, the way that we get to make decisions in our lives, the way that we get to truly tune in to our authentic, empowered truth. So thoughts, very important, because they do shape our lives. But let's take the focus away from the thinking and feel more into feeling, like really getting in tune with the energy of what our bodies are trying to communicate with us, what our energy is trying to communicate with us. You know, it's a really complex, really exciting world that we live within, and we give thoughts too much credit. So we do a lot of work on this in the More Than Enough method. I just wanted to introduce you to this whole new idea because I feel like it's helpful for you to detach the importance from the importance of thinking and thoughts. Yeah, how's it landing, people? Who've we got? How is it landing this evening? So, as a summary, this is what I'd love for you to take away from tonight. I'd love for you to understand that you are not your thoughts. That is how your brain has been programmed to think, but your thoughts are not you. But you're not your feelings either. Like, it's just programmed how we've been. Your feelings are your emotions as a communication trying to guide you through life, but they're not you. That's not your identity. Your feelings are not you. This is the biggie that I see all the time with my clients, that you're not your experiences either. Like, really separating yourself from maybe some of the shitty things that have happened in your life. Like, that is not you. That is just experiences that you have been through. And I say just, I'm not diminishing them, especially if you've had adverse childhood experiences or trauma in your life. But they don't need to define you. We get to separate our identity from those experiences. You are not your experiences or the events that have occurred into your life. You are so much more than that. And when we get to reprogram your brain at the level of the subconscious, you can reclaim your life. And I just love this flow of thinking. I think it's so simple, and it can be really game changing for each and every one of us to have that reminder that we are not all of our thoughts, we are not our feelings, we're not our experiences. And when we reprogram the subconscious, we can truly step into everything it is that we desire. You know, life, it will never be perfect. There will always be setbacks, turbulences, challenges, high frequency emotions, lower frequency emotions, but we learn how to tolerate them more. We learn for them not to take us down to the depths of despair that maybe they once would. We get to be stronger. We get to be more empowered, get to be more than enough. And that is my mission here this evening, is to really activate the enoughness in many, many of you as I can possibly touch this evening. And on the replays, welcome. If you're here on the replay, welcome to. Drop me an email, let me know how this has landed. And so I just wanted to share a few words from some of the gorgeous women that have been through the More Than Enough experience. There's over 65 that have experienced my More Than Enough movement now. So More Than Enough experience, it keeps growing, evolving, changing. I'm going to be telling you more about it across the week. It's a 10-week experience that is like nothing else out there. It truly does tackle emotional wellness, self-esteem, inner confidence and point of science, but also bringing in a whole load of modalities that really make those lasting, impactful changes that I keep referring to. So Kate, gorgeous Kate, who is now one of our amazing facilitators, because she's been so inspired by the work that she's done on herself. She wants to take it out to the world. Kate really wants to take this work to the world of empowering parents, to teach this with their children really young as well. So she's got a business called Empowered Little Minds, and she's going to be using the More Than Enough method in that space. So the More Than Enough method is life-changing. She doesn't say these things lightly. Who does? I loved every aspect of the course. The masterclasses are powerful, full of truth bombs and incredible knowledge. Live coaching calls with a beautiful group of amazing, inspiring women. And I was around to be able to do a bit of laser coaching and support them in transforming their subconscious mind. Honestly, she cannot recommend it enough. Thank goodness, because she's taken it out to the world. The freedom on the other side of the fear that she used to feel is gold. More Than Enough is truly incredible. We love you, Kate. Thank you for those kind words. Grace. Haven't ever seen you this evening on the call. I don't think Grace is here this evening, but she was saying how super blindingly amazing it is. Turned into multiple possibilities and endless opportunities. Amazing progress with her emotional mastery and her self-belief has skyrocketed. Of course it has. I do bring all of this energy and more. This is actually me quite subdued this evening. Can you believe it? It does. You get the full range of Naomi when we're on the 10-weeker course. It's going to run very smooth on More Than Enough 5. There'll be no more surprises. I bring my amazing energy that's magnetic, empowering, and uplifting. I hope to uplift you all, full of encouragement. I deliver complex things in really easy to understand language and encourage you through the whole learning journey. If you want to ditch niggly naggly voices in your head, this is the perfect course to overcome and accept them for what they are. And finally, believe that you've always been good enough. Yes, you are gorgeous humans. You've always been enough. My job, the way that I see it, is to return you, like I talk about it, like wiping the graffiti off your wall of life, like returning you to the glorious wall that you should have been born with before everybody else sprayed their shit on it. Like, I want to help you return to your truth. So that is our 60. Oh my God, look at that, Naomi. You did it exactly on the hour. Never before have I completed exactly on an hour. I'm chuffed with that. I would love for you to share this training if it's been of use and value to you. These trainings are going to be saved in these Facebook spaces wherever you're viewing, on YouTube. I'm going to stick it on Vimeo as soon as we finish, and I'll send it on replay. I would love for you to share this wide and far. We are trying to grow a global movement of reactivation of enoughness now in every human, and I can't do that work alone. Like, we're really gathering momentum from our facilitators and coaches and really building a massive community now. So all of the sharing that you can ever do is just so valued, and I'd love for you to share this with friends or family or neighbours or colleagues or employees or whoever is in your world, to just give them a bit of a flavour about what's possible for them. And oh, Sharon's here. Oh, you're all here. I've just popped over to the chat again. Abby's here. More than enough is fantastic. Thank you, Abby. Sharon saying more than enough has literally changed her life. Confidence has grown, taking action, amazing supportive sisterhood. Oh my God, I mean, the sisterhood is like nothing else you will ever experience on this planet. Like, they are the most loving, supportive, guiding women that I am just so blessed to have in my community. Love coming back and training. Yes, Sharon is training to do it all again. We have round 2 of the More Than Enough Facilitators Training Academy begins in April. So if you're like, oh my God, this sounds like really good fun, I would love financial, emotional, and lifestyle freedom in my life. I would love a little taste of what Naomi is offering the world. I'd love to be able to take that out into corporate. I'd love to be able to take it out into parenting. I'd love to be able to take it out into academia. I'd love to be able to take it out into just the world. Then do let me know. I'm signing people up. We're getting people enrolled now for that training academy. Catherine Withers is here this evening as well. There's others that are embarking on going deeper in this journey. So it's a very exciting time to get involved. There is so much opportunity with what I have developed here. I just want to put this into context. When I trained to be a hypnobirthing teacher 11 years ago, I was one of the only hypnobirthing teachers in West Sussex. And I remember thinking at the time that it was a saturated market. Now, bearing in mind, my target audience was only pregnant women. Like, now there's probably about 50, 60, 100 hypnobirthing teachers where they are using, and midwives, like I helped the local NHS trust. We were one of the first in the country to bring hypnobirthing to the masses. Now, hypnosis is used every single day across the globe for birth, hundreds and thousands, if not millions of births, and that's a normal part of birth preparation nowadays. So I want to bring that hypnosis and that hypnotherapy, which is exactly what we do in the More Than Enough world, to help women with their self-confidence, their self-esteem, and their enoughness, to reactivate that. Like, so if hypnobirthing can do what's happened in the last 20 years for hypnobirthing, like, we've got so much to go after. I want More Than Enough to be the global brand for activating enoughness in not just women, like all humans. I use the terminology women just because that tends to have been my market for the last couple of years, but we want to take it everywhere. We want to take it in schools, we want to take it to universities, to workplaces, so that people don't drown in their self-doubt, so that they don't get stuck in their own stories, so they can release themselves in a really safe and ethical way from traumas. Because humans aren't living into their true essence and true potentiality. We're being conditioned to play small and familiar and living into other people's narratives. It's time for change. As I said at the start of the call, our children need us to do this work. We need to break the cycles. We need to learn different ways of looking at life so that we can teach them how to live in this really complex world, but be able to navigate it like with so many more tools. Like, a lot of the reason that I do this work and I share the work the way that I do is because I want to prevent my children from having to go through some very difficult learning lessons of my teens and my 20s, like really not understanding myself. I want to give them the gift of understanding themselves early on and having these tools to go out into the world. Like, I wish I knew what I know now back then. I can't, but I can give people the resources that they need that will make a massive impact in the world. And that's what really and truly drives me. Really, truly drives me. Oh, I cannot wait. We've got so much to go after. So if you are thinking about stopping the worry cycle that you're stuck in, worrying about all the ifs, buts and maybes that never happen. Let's be honest about it. 99% of the stuff that we worry about never actually happens. Like, save the energy for when true emergencies, like we will have emergencies, but they're never the ones we worry about, right? So if you want to take all that energy and invest it in something that's going to be truly life enhancing, then don't have to wait till Wednesday to talk to me about More Than Enough. I've got plenty of space to be chatting about it all week. The More Than Enough round 5 kicks off in a fortnight, kicks off on January the 25th with this relationship and communication special. So ask away. I can fill in the gaps for you. So share with your friends any of the recordings that you see anywhere. Tag people that you think that would be interested. And before we finish up, just to refresh that there are many reasons why we overthink. There are many reasons why we don't have that calm state of mind, because we're busy overthinking, because we're approaching the problem from the wrong angle. And More Than Enough will help you to see it all differently through a new perspective, with a science-based approach to completely transforming your subconscious mind. So if you are still live on the call, alive, and you would like to be in the prize draw, tomorrow's prize draw, what I require you to do, if you put your name in at the start, is send me an email with "Reactivate My Enoughness" in the title to Naomi@naominewland.com. Send it over to me before. I would do it now because you're bound to forget otherwise. And then we will draw that at the start of tomorrow night's call. There will be prizes again, of course, tomorrow night. There will be prizes. So I will see you at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. If you have any questions, do drop them here in the comments. I'll pick them up right now. And if I don't have time to answer them right now, then I'll roll them over to tomorrow night. We'll probably do a question and answer session off the back of Wednesday night as well. So if you've got some like deep coaching questions you want me to dive into, or you've just got some more logistical overthinking type questions and you want to know some more details about More Than Enough, about our sisterhood, about the global movement that we're creating, about the training academy, like, bring it on. This is what I'm here for, to make sure that More Than Enough movement really swells and grows, and we create some incredible momentum for the rest of the year in terms of activating enoughness across the globe. Well done, Sharon. Make sure you drop me an email to be in with that prize draw. Thank you for tuning in. It's been glorious. Shares and shares and shares and shares everywhere would be so appreciated. I'm so grateful for you all for sharing this hour with me. Tomorrow night, I shall be back. Just trying to see, is there a way to check chat is done before tomorrow? Is there a way to check chat is done before tomorrow? Check chat. Tag me, darlings, and then I can check chat. It's a tongue twister this evening. Total tongue twister. Thank you for your energy. Oh, you're so welcome. Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? This is just the tip of the iceberg of what I have to offer for you all. I'm going to sign out now because I'm so thrilled that I kept it to an hour and then I've chatted for 9 minutes. Oh, Angela, yes. So glad you've come, dragged yourself back. Oh, yeah. Just don't forget, I've scrolled right back. Thanks. See you all later. It's open and live to read. Yes, all of the comments will be in those Facebook groups, and so I'll pick them up, answer them individually. Those of you that are wanting to do more than enough, that have already done more than enough, and you're not signed up to more than enough 5, there is a graduates rate as well. So let me know. Never pay full price. Once you've paid full price, full investment, you get really good deals on future rounds. So do let me know. Laura wants to know that she's been seen tomorrow. Okay, brilliant, Laura. I know that you're here, so email me. Thank you for PAing me tonight, Sharon. It's very much appreciated. Good night. Mwah! So grateful for you all. See you tomorrow night at 8. Let's go even deeper. Night, gorgeous ones.